Welcome to Spirit Baby Radio. You are about to join a frequency that will open your mind, expand your heart, and activate your spirit. Thank you for joining Kelly Meehan, Spirit Baby Medium and Master Energy Therapist. Kelly believes in the power of the Spirit Baby. She speaks with babies in spirit before life, in the womb, and after life. She supports, teaches, and guides others to tune into the intuitive and mystical parts of life for greater wisdom. Join her in meeting your soul baby and build your connection and relationship with deep love and trust. Welcome to Spirit Baby Radio with your host, Spirit Baby Medium, Kelly.
Welcome to episode 146, September 2nd, 2022, Age and Fertility, your Spirit Baby communication skills and lessons. What is a menopause baby? How does age and your belief system shape your fertility? Are you open to listen and receive your next steps? What does Spirit Baby relationship need from you? Welcome, welcome. The beautiful energy of September. I have this vision, and growing up as a child, September was always about fall. But that is in the East Coast because I live on the West Coast and it is over 100 degrees, which is so different, right? It's such a different climate of desert. I live in the more desert of Southern California, and it's T-shirts and barely wearing clothes because it's so hot. It's like a sauna, actually. So you live in New Jersey, it's like you're in a steam room in the summer. And if it gets to 100 in the East Coast of New Jersey, it's not good. Gets in the hundreds in the West Coast, sauna, dry heat. It's still not good, but it's actually not as bad, I feel like, as it would be if there was a lot of humidity. And so September is here. My goodness, so many months to go until the new, right, the new energy of new things. But I want to, something that's come up about menopause babies. What does that even mean? I've learned about menopause babies many years ago through fertility specialists, and I'm like, that's a thing? Menopause babies? And so I researched it and learned, parts of it throughout the years. And I just, if people know me, I call it moon pause, not menopause. And I feel like when women bleed or menstruate, I call it moon time. And so moon pause happens to us all, right? We have a womb, we create in the uterus, we have eggs, there's action and cycles, and so coming into moon pause is, some would say, a rite of passage, and of course, culturally, it depends on the culture, on how it is worshipped, honored, and loved, or is it thrown away, you're done, you're junk, right? We know what that looks like. And so what happens when you hit moon pause, and what is a typical, right? I would say the typical, the doctors, what do they say? 40 to 55, 60 maybe even. But then the women having babies at 60s. And so what does that mean? And so we have this idea, and we've all been really indoctrinated with this idea and belief that, okay, we start bleeding, and here's our fertile window, and I feel like we're all programmed to go, this is what it looks like. And I'm not denying the cycle of people, of the carbon-based body of cells, of what is the word? I feel like life and death cycles of, ovulation and things moving and the blood shedding, life and death really within us. And I'm not denying that, but I'm also feeling like, wait a second, especially with the internet, right? We really get to see what's going on in that world of connecting with people in ways where, wait a minute, people are having children, women are having children in their 40s and their 50s, 60s. What does that mean? Is it really an anomaly, or is there not enough data, right? Everybody wants data. And so there's a lot of people in developed cultures and more indigenous cultures that are just having children without getting emotionally, energetically, mentally attached to something specific. And I do feel like there's something in the later conception without that attachment, I would say. And so, learning about menopause babies many moons ago. How about that? Many moons ago. And I want to encourage you, if you are in quote unquote menopause, because some people will say, some doctors, practitioners, holistic, Western, oh, when you're 40, that's when you enter menopause. But some women will enter earlier, right? And some women will enter way later. I notice a lot of the women I hang out with, they tend to be in their 50s. They're getting up into their 50s and still not in menopause in the sense of completely stop bleeding. And some are. And some, I feel like I think we have to be really conscientious whether we're in menopause or not. The fertility window is always open. I honestly feel like it's open until you leave your earth body. How about that? Unless you've had your uterus taken out, unless you've had your tubes tied, unless you have some major stuff that you really feel like, not what the doctors say as much, but like you really, okay, this is shut down, nothing's happening. And so, and sometimes there is a truth to that for some people. And yet, I remember holistic practitioners saying, well, you're 40, maybe you're going to be you're in premenopause. And I thought, oh, that's interesting because I'm pregnant right now. So how does that work? But it's funny to like kind of reflect on that and joke about it because it's like, oh, so I'm 40, I'm pregnant, I'm going to be nursing, and so menopause isn't in my consciousness, it isn't my reality. And or even premenopause is like I'm getting ready to take care of this baby and do my mothery thing. And so, I question that too. And I look at my own fertility window and I'm nervous because I'm not having children anymore. And we had that figured out on the other side. So there's no worries at this point. But the point, is that we can be so fertile even into the 50s. And you can conceive a child. It's not so unheard of, but I do feel like, yet again, the belief system that we've created that, oh, you're in premenopause, you're menopause, that's down, everything's closed. And it's so untrue. And what I want you to do, if you're in those menopause years, right, and you're feeling that pressure around age, right, age is such a big thing in our culture. It's, get the next best eye cream and Botox, at least it is over in Southern California, and get, face peels and things like that. What people don't realize, which is the foundation to rejuvenation is completely internal. It has nothing to do with all the scrapes and creams and even sometimes supplements you put in. I think it has everything to do with your own soul's energy, and that light is going to be healing the cells or making them not heal and work with other, timelines of energy. And so I want you to, if you're in menopause and you're like, oh my gosh, can I have a menopause baby? I want you to Google menopause babies, and you're going to see tons of stuff around it. And so I have a definition here. I probably should have read a moment ago, but I want to read, what is a menopause baby? And this is from an Australian website. And I did have the website here. I guess I must have missed where I posted the link, but now I lost the link. It's here somewhere. Anyway, so here I quote, a menopause baby is conceived and delivered by a mother who is technically going through perimenopause, the transition period before the ovaries eventually stop releasing eggs, menopause. For most women, perimenopause starts in their 40s, although for some it can be as early as 30s or later in their 50s, and it usually lasts for a year or two. During this time, the women will experience irregular periods, hot flashes, vaginal dryness, irritability, trouble sleeping, and low sex drive due to the hormonal changes such as the ovaries producing less estrogen. And so I've heard so many mixed things about that because even hot flashes, I heard, can be viral pathogens, just the hormone system's changing. And I don't know, it's quite fascinating now where we actually are speaking up and really looking at different things because remember, yet again, as I always say, nobody is a cookie-cutter person. We can't pin people to be exactly the same. Yeah, we have similar biologies, but some people have different set of rib cage in their body, an extra kidney, maybe missing a kidney. Your bone structure is different. You may have an extra organ you've never known. There's so many things happening that really are often unexplainable by science, but we are not all the same in that sense. that our bodies, our cells, our lineage, the energy connected to other timelines of our present time are all in communication and, connection with each other. And I thought this was really, here's the website, sorry. It's called babyology.com.au. And there was another thing I found here, which I thought was really, really neat to share. And they also shared they shared in this internet info is, and I quote, some women conceive in their 50s and even 60s. The oldest recorded spontaneous pregnancy being, I'm going to say this name wrong, it's a Chinese name, Jing Tang from Zhaozang, who gave birth at the ripe old age, I like how they say that, ripe old age of 67 in 2019. It's widely believed that many female celebrities who are having babies later in life are actually using egg donors. But some have fallen pregnant naturally, such as Halle Berry, who admits she was premenopausal when she conceived her son, Makio, at age 47. And so I know many of you are in your 40s going, wait a second, I'm 43, I'm 45, oh gosh, I'm 47. What does that mean? It's whatever you want it to mean. And again, I'm not going to deny that maybe your fertility window is getting less, but you can't pin yourself to that. And remember, when you go to the fertility doctor, they're just going to hear 47 and they're going to already put you in a category. Done. Even if unless they're an amazing fertility doctor, they're like, you know what, you're looking good in there. Things are a little off, but this is possible. Not going, okay, your eggs are bad. Let's make the assumption. Let's, do something else. It doesn't have to be that way. And so you get to be in charge in a sense of where you want your fertility to go, but more of like where you want the attunement of your fertility. Are you listening? What does it mean? Because, we get so confused. Anything below the belt or anything below the neck, I even feel like. This is why I've been so enchanted and studying for 15 years of somatic psychology as of course in my graduate degree, which, I don't think that's the biggest deal. I feel like everything is experiential, but it's moving through the experience of what does it mean to be in the seat of somatic psychology? What does it mean to receive that embodiment? What does it mean to really tune in to that part of the self and listening to the lungs, like placing your hands on your adrenals, moving your body and how it wants to move without your mind over dictating, and feeling and connecting with the emotions. And, of course, in my own practices, I bring that into my own work as well. I bring that into the clients. I bring that into the programs. Especially coming up very soon in the next week is co-creation, a journey with Spirit Baby, and it is 7 weeks. And we do somatic, nature, therapeutic, Spirit Baby stuff every single week. And maybe it's in 2 weeks, sorry, in 2 weeks. But next week there is an event, and I'll share that at the very end, that I would love for everybody to join and sign up for. Maybe I should even share that. I'll share that in the newsletter and Instagram. I'm telling you now, but I may not even have it posted when this podcast comes out, but I'll get you excited about it. Spirit Baby Communication, Conception to Pregnancy, 2-day free event on Zoom with me, learning all the tips and tricks, not really tricks, skills into that Spirit Baby communication place and moving into your mother creative energy. So shifting back, menopause babies. I feel like, can we just menopause babies. Again, I really encourage you to Google it, to look at it. Like, what does that mean? And as I talk about age, of course, age is always going to come up. I did a class, a workshop, a one-day pop-in workshop a few months ago. And it was really about age and fertility and what is this thing with age? It's such a big deal. And I remember having my children in the dangerous age. You can't see my air quotes here. And I say dangerous age because that's what they make you feel like. So I had my 2 children, 36, 41 is when I birthed them. And so, whoa, you're dangerous. You need to go get a special doctor. No, I actually don't. Because there's nothing wrong. If you have something wrong, high blood pressure or maybe other issues, maybe gestational diabetes, and not even that. I'm no medical professional. I'm not claiming to be. And so some people, we have to tune into our bodies in this preconception place. And I feel like that's what you're doing when you're tuning into Spirit Baby Radio. And maybe you're already in pregnancy, but there's so many different, in this episode, you may not be in pregnancy, or you may be just right in pregnancy, that there's no one way to be on this journey into conception, into pregnancy, and quote unquote older mother and older mom. I think it's kind of funny because I feel like, so I see some women struggling. They're like, oh, I tried it like in my 20s, or I tried in my 30s, and 10 years later I got like 5 children. Or, I'm not kidding. Sometimes it happens, 3 or 4 children. And I was like, but what if the whole time you're evolving in your specific consciousness, and that those children were like, I am not coming any earlier. No matter how hard you try, Mom, Dad, sorry, you're not broken. You may think you're broken, but my frequency matters. My energy matters, and it's so confusing. I understand that, but yet in between worlds of energy, you have to do the inner work to listen to where you are intuitively, and maybe you're meant to work really hard because you're meant to discover other things about who you are. I mean, how could that not be that way? Your children are with you. You're speaking to them in between worlds, and maybe, there's so many different emotions in this earth reality, and you have to be with them. And this is where I come in. This is where I'm helping, supporting, working with hundreds of people throughout the years, into the thousands. Not to brag. That sounded so braggy. But, it baffles me sometimes in reflection to go, what am I doing? Who are all these people? Wow, this is amazing, because I do feel like I can do it. I can see between those worlds. It doesn't take great effort from me. It just feels like it's a part of me, actually. And I'm always expanding into that psychic space. And I do promote that for you as moving into motherhood. Your own psychic space is so present, it's so there, because it's not about me and the communication with your child. Yeah, I hear things because I'm not involved in your personal life. And so it's easy, right? And so I'm not involved. And so, but your baby really wants to connect with you. They don't want to connect with me in the sense of like, you're their mother, you're their father, you're their everything. You have a synergistic love frequency together that you're expanding into. And then you're moving into the beautiful, graceful embodiment part of it. And so that's a part of your journey. It's not my journey. And I do feel like I help captivate that. I help, you build that. And many of you know that I've connected with me. And yet, these women, like I'm saying, they go on a very long journey, and there's so much unknown parts to it. And sometimes I feel like it's supposed to be like that. You're not supposed to have all the answers, but you're also not supposed to not try either. You can't just sit back and go, okay, I'm going to do nothing, when your baby's like, hey, maybe we should go get some progesterone or estrogen changing. And of course, I'm going to say those are connected to emotional things too, but you may not be available to it, or you may just not even realize. And so that's the tricky part. That's the energetic listening, and that's the part that you're in relationship with as well, with your own higher self and heart, and then going, oh, yes, and then, tuning into baby energies that are with you or around you. And, of course, I feel like the best way to do that is you just go do it. Or you clear your energy. Go get an energy clearing, come see me. You get your energy straight and clear, and then feel where the communication is and how baby is in relationship with you and what they're wanting to share with you, because there is a relationship. And I had somebody quote me that's very well known. I felt like they took my own words, which I know happens. I mean, I've been doing this for almost 9 years. And it's just, I find it fascinating. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. That's my language. And she said it's about the spirit-baby relationship. But, of course, people will listen to her because she's got millions of followers. But it is about the relationship, as I've been speaking about for a very long time, that you're allowed to create a relationship between worlds of energy, because here there's such a thin veil of energy before you, like right before you, right in front of you. If you can just take a moment right now, you're on this conception journey, and maybe you're in premenopause. Don't get freaked out by that. And you feel this connection to this being, and are you open to listen? And so this being stands right before you. And again, when I say a thin veil of energy, it's almost like behind a door. That's how it feels like to me with people. And so are you open to tune in? Maybe you don't hear. Maybe you don't feel in that way. Maybe that's not your process. But don't be scared of that. I feel like there's a lot of fear when it comes to spirit energy, right? We hear the word spirits and people freak out. Finding your own way in the conception relationship with your own body of being, but also knowing that your wholeness is there. It's a part of you no matter how old you are, and you feel the calling. You're going to listen, and you're going to have your baby, you're going to have your child, and they may come in different ways. I've seen so many different ways, from IVF to egg donation to sperm donation to surgeries in the uterus to surrogacy. Yep, that's an option too. I know it's not one people want to run to. And adoption, I've seen that too, and very few people that have come. But most people that come to me over these years are going, you know what, Kelly? My body needs a baby. I need a baby in here. I need to grow this. Or most people that come to me have had multiple losses, whether it's early loss or later loss. And I know that my energy is tuned in to going, let's bring your children in, and how are we going to do it? But I know there are exceptions in there. I know that there are a few that maybe come into my energy way later on the journey, and it's whatever their mission and assignment has already been put into place, and I can only offer so much in that. But really my frequency and intentional energy for those that come into my psychic and baby space is like, okay, let's get the babies outside, and what are these parents doing to nourish and nurture their own heart to become mother in a most beautiful, graceful way, but not with perfection either. You know me, it's not about the perfection of, who you need to be or what needs to be, it's not about the perfection. So don't get caught in that, like, oh, I'm just angry all the time, I'm not good enough, or I'm sad all the time, I'm not good enough. It's not about that. But it's just, so don't get caught when I say that. It's like, oh, but I feel like, why is it that this work is so, present and powerful, and there's always energy moving? But I see a theme of energy in how I'm supporting many, and I do see a lot of women go from conception to pregnancy, and I've worked with them through it. And then even in sometimes postpartum, some people will be, please, can I, we talk to the baby? And of course, I could talk to the baby on the outside. It's the same thing on the inside, but I don't really offer that. On special occasions, somebody really, something's big's happening, and especially if they worked with me, it's different. I love talking to the souls of babies, the newborns. The newborns have so much to say. They're so telepathic, and that's the thing. It doesn't make a difference between them being out of an earth body and then working into the earth body in pregnancy and then being after. It's literally the same soul, the same spirit. And so even when let's say you're on this conception journey, and even at times in your moon pause energy, you feel so discouraged. That's normal. You're going to be discouraged at different times in different ways. So is life. And but yet you push forward. You go, okay. And sometimes you need to hibernate, and maybe even check in with yourself now. Is it time to hibernate? Would you go inward and just kind of extract, let the naturalness of purging, I should say, not extracting, I should say purging, the natural purge, the natural detox of where your energy wants to be. You're not forcing yourself. This is a really tricky one, right? Because we're so, and believe me, I am like totally on the top of the list of that one. Like, what is the next healing that I'm doing? What's going to help me get to whatever, right? And I love that, because we have to change too. We could connect and heal on one level and then go, oh, something feels like it's changed, or I need to stop and do my own connection, which is really powerful, and then come back to whatever I need in that time, and my own specific frequency. And so connecting in with that is so instinctual, and you have to feel the difference between, of course, intuition and fear, because fear could say, no, I'm never doing anything, I'm going to just hide and hibernate. It's not about that either. And other times, the opposite of hibernation, you may feel action energy. It's time to get out there. It's like, woo, like I'm almost running a marathon. Like, get out there, let the energy move, see where it wants to go. And you have to tune into that. And I felt that for my own self. And I'm in my own healing journey, I feel like, all the time with being an empath and old stuff, traumas that are constantly being revealed. And it's very physical in my body. And so that physical is like really gnawing at me, right? The emotional is not my big area, and I almost wish it was, because it's just, let me deal with the emotion and be like, woo. But it's like there's such a process in how my foundation came into this existence of this world and what I created around that. And then to untie from these old parts, it can, my gosh, I know it from a health perspective, not from a fertility perspective, but I get that unwinding. My gosh, it feels never ending, right? Maybe you're going in like after 2 years, maybe you're on 3 and you're 5 and you're just like, what the heck is happening? This just feels so ongoing. But also you're having to not go so much in the past, but you're just unwinding whatever is awakening you on the journey where you are now. And it's not just about you, right? If you're in partnership, partner has to be held accountable, even if they have quote unquote super sperm, which is really not true anyways, because I feel like there's so much in the energetic that's often missed. And I had a really great student that said that she said that there's only a snapshot of the medical model when you get tests and results. And she works as, acupuncture medium. Don't you love that? Acupuncture psychic medium. And she's in the Spirit Baby Academy. And when she said that, I was like, wow, that is so impactful and important the way you said that. That, again, not to minimize medical intervention, but it is just a snapshot. And what I'm sharing is we got in this conversation about the partnership, especially if it's a male partner and there's sperm issues, that I've seen this too throughout the years. Oh, the doctor says everything's okay. And I'm like, well, it's not, and you need to go figure it out. And sometimes I know for me it's prophetic, so I see some predicting timeline. So where this one situation I'm thinking about, no, everything's fine, multiple loss, and then it wasn't fine. And it was later found that, there was something really, really wrong, but it came a few months later. And so there's something in the energy. It's always in the energy. Energy before physical and emotional. I'm sorry, that's how that works. And why I say sorry is because we get into the physical, and I get it. Remember, I'm a physical empath. It's like, the physical is now calling me to fix it or to cure it or to make it better or to smooth it out. And so, because that's where it has to work through your vibration. So think about yourself in this big bubble of light, and there's energy around the outer edges of your spirit body, we'll call it. And then we're going further down. Oh, look, there's the mental body of energy. Oh, we're going further down. There's the emotional body of energy. Oh, look, we're going further down. There's the physical body of energy. Oh, look, there's the information is in the mental and emotional body. But look, the physical body's okay. But, so here's the thing, a lot of energy readers and probably psychics could tell, look, there's information in, it's coming into agreement into the cells, and it's going to become a physical manifestation. And that's a tricky one. But I find throughout the years, even before I did medical intuition, I did notice that with people with cancers and tumors and pockets of fear. I was like, that could become something. Sometimes it's very strong lineage, like, the mother's mother has thyroid issues. You have thyroid issues. I can see it. It's a lineage connection. Or, something more current. I have endometriosis. It's connected to this timeline of energy and this, but it's also past energy always. I feel like pains and physical issues are very much past energies, and they're coming into this timeline. I've seen things. I always feel like if I'm seeing things, there's a reason. I may not see everything, but it's like, what is the potency of that energy? So coming back to the partnership is really what I'm going into. Is the partnership energy is important. If you are on a conception journey, even in Menopause, and you're in partnership, that everybody is accountable for what their quest is, the pre-birth communication conception quest, that everybody does their own part. And again, there's going to be so much involved in that. I feel like I've really kind of tapped into many different parts, not just the Menopause, but the age, looking at how the belief system, remember, it shapes the fertility journey. I mean, how could it not? And, being open, whatever that means, being able to receive an internal listening, even an external listening, and then letting it be in a space of change with you, because it's the resistance and the impatience that then creates this whole other story that may not even be real. And what I mean by that is the pain, the suffering, the fear, the trauma that maybe feels unresolved. It's like, what are you doing now taking a breath in the presence of who you are, and what does that look like? Even if you have a shitty day today, can you accept that and know that every moment you are in change with life, you are in change with the atmosphere, you're in change with the breath of who you are, you're in change from moments ago, and an hour ago who you were is not here anymore. So let yourself sink in. I almost feel like sinking in your inner philosopher, your own connection to your heart, your frequency, and really restructure, really come to this place and learn about menopause babies, and seeing, wow, this is fascinating. I feel like it can open up a level of consciousness for people, and to see these stories. So type in these stories. I'm not kidding. I Googled menopause baby stories. There's like millions of stories of, again, it doesn't always have to be egg donation. It could be your own eggs, or it may mean other things. And so venture off into that world, shift into that consciousness that you are in communication with Spirit Baby Being, and you are continuing to open to what serves you and what feels right in your heart, and that your baby is in connection with you, and you know that. And see what next that journey takes you. And I want to, of course, thank you for joining episode 146, September 2nd, 2022, Age and Fertility, Your Spirit Baby Communication Skills and Lessons. And as always, if you like this podcast or any of my podcasts, please subscribe and leave reviews. And just so you know, I do have a newsletter for a Spirit Baby Tip 101. You can sign into my newsletter and receive that instantly through a video. And I have a book also. It's called Sacred Communication, a Spirit Baby Journal, and Spirit Baby Oracle Cards, Soul Answers from Spirit Baby. Everything is out there. You can buy them locally, USA, or internationally. And I have upcoming events. There's a 2-day event coming up in the next week, and it is free, it is fun, it is going to be inspiring and deeply healing. And it is all about conception with Spirit Baby communication. And after that as well, I will be offering my final year, Co-Creation, A Journey with Spirit Baby, which is 7 weeks to using wilderness nature, somatic psychology mixed with Spirit Baby mediumship. And it's going to be so amazing, so awesome. And women walk away really changed, some even pregnant, and some later on pregnant. And so come check that out. And thank you so much for tuning in.
This is Spirit Baby Radio. Thank you for joining Kelly in the energy of awareness, love, healing, and soul communication. Please join the next episode at www.soulbabycommunication.com.